The ball season has barely started for the Chicago Bulls already, and we have changes that have already happened. We've already gone through two coaches being removed from Billy Donovan's staff, and this time that was willingly, but this time the Chicago Bulls have lost a lead assistant to the Charlotte Hornets. We're going to talk about all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. And we got some news coming down. The Chicago Bulls have lost a potential lead assistant. As many people remember, Mo Cheeks as well as Chris Fleming were removed from Billy Donovan's coaching staff. And at that point, it opened up a door for a new lead assistant for the Chicago Bulls under Billy Donovan. And Josh Longstaff was one of the people that were named as one of the potential candidates to be that new lead assistant for the Chicago Bulls. Well, unfortunately, it seems like right now the Chicago Bulls may have waited too long to make that decision, as John Longstaff now is decided to leave. He will be joining Charles Lee, right? Shout out to him. But Charles Lee as the first staff hiring in his staff with the Charlotte Hornets. And it's really kind of too hard to kind of gauge how big of a loss this is for the Chicago Bulls, considering the fact that they hadn't named him as the lead assistant yet, which means that even the Bulls are kind of internally weighing the options of Longstaff as the lead assistant or if they wanted to go a different route. What this does mean is that a coaching staff for Billy Donovan was already looking at 2 open spots, now has 3 open spots on the end of that bench behind Billy Donovan for assistant coaches, as Longstaff is now parting ways with Chicago, going over to the Charlotte Hornets. And so it's really interesting now where that's going to sit Billy Donovan. It's been reported by Casey Johnson that Billy Donovan does plan on really upping the efforts to find and fill out his coaching staff now after the between now and the draft combine. So that's really an important thing there. I also think that, with Longstaff being looked at as a lead assistant, it does mean that the Bulls are really looking at maybe somebody who can really offer a different kind of view than what Billy Donovan has. Chris Fleming, who was one of the most heralded assistant coaches around the NBA as a potential head coaching candidate, deciding to leave the Chicago Bulls, it just raises more questions about exactly how is this new staff now by Billy Donovan really going to look and take shape. And so that's something that remains to be seen. But as of right now, all we know is that Billy Donovan has 3 open spots now behind him on the back end of that bench. A lead assistant is one of the key things that they're looking at and adding as well. And the thing with assistant coaches is that you never really know how much of an impact they have. Every head coach in the NBA uses their assistants to varying degrees. There are some coaches in the NBA that use their assistants to, really come up with game plans. They use them as kind of pseudo coordinators in a lot of ways. Think of Tom Thibodeau under Doc Rivers, was really kind of the mastermind of that defense there. But there's some that, they're there for helping with, watching tape, coming up with game plans, things like that. But they don't really interact a lot as far as like with, having a big hand on the game plan. They're more so to execute the vision of the head coach. So, it remains to be seen exactly what Billy Donovan's looking for in those cases. But this is where it stands right now. Billy Donovan has now another open position up on his staff, and we'll see what it comes down to with that. I do think that it does say something about Longstaff and how he's viewed as well. The fact that, Charles Lee, who's the new head coach of the Charlotte Hornets, this is his first hire. And so it speaks to how he's viewed around the league as far as like kind of the potential around him as a coach and things like that. And, we'll see what that means. It looks like Longstaff was also weighing an opportunity to join Mike Budenholzer's staff over in Phoenix as well, who he's worked with him before in Milwaukee. So that's something to be said there as well. But he decides to go with the new one. So we'll see what happens there, man. And that's just what it comes down to. I just wanted to bring this update to you guys. And, on top of that, we do know that Julian Phillips is fully healed now as well. I'll cover that a little bit on tomorrow's daily episode. But that's where we sit right now. So, guys, let me know what you guys think down below on Billy Donovan now unwillingly losing a member of his staff to go over and join another team. And Billy Donovan right now is really going to have to look at shaping some completely new things here with his coaching staff as we go forward. But make sure you guys are following the show at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799, for the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. Thanks to you guys. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, maybe today. We'll see. But see